And here you can see live footage of the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out lies, hypocrisy, and corruption while highlighting the amazing work of other freedom fighters, because truth conquers. But you can't stand for truth and conquer anything if you're not strong. So luckily here to help us get strong is Ancestral Supplements grass-fed beef liver. Did you know that beef liver is nature's multivitamin? It makes your metabolism fast, energy high, and cravings low. My dear friends, it's time to get healthy and strong again with grass-fed beef liver. Get it by going to ancestralsupplements.com/JPReacts, and for 15% off, use code JPReacts. Now let's get into it. And we'll put our boxing gloves on as we get into this, ladies and gentlemen. The Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight is in the books, and why the heck are we even talking about it? Because I would dare say the truth of this matter is very elusive. It doesn't appear to be what you see on the surface. So in the name of fighting for truth, we're going to take a deeper look at this carnival spectacle that was the Jake Paul fighting a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. There are wild things going all over the internet, tons of speculation saying the fight was fixed, the fight was scripted, here's a leaked script going all over the place. Not to mention there's some ethical concerns about a 27-year-old guy in his prime fighting a 58-year-old dude that's probably 25 years outside of his prime. So the world watched this thing, and Netflix streamed it, and apparently it had 60 million viewers. So to me, what this tells us is people bought into this with their attention or Netflix subscription because of the emotionality of it. There wasn't really a logical basis for why someone would watch this fight on paper. It doesn't really make sense, but there was an emotional intrigue about it. I think primarily because Mike Tyson, probably one of the baddest of all time, 30 years outside of his prime, but he's fighting Jake Paul. So could like there be a glimpse of it? So we just bought this. All off raw emotions. I'm not proud to say, but I stayed up late Friday night to watch this stupid thing. And universally, every single person was disappointed. I mean, there's some people that are mad. Most of the anger going towards Jake Paul. I don't think much anger is going towards Mike Tyson. He was kind of presented as the underdog. He's 58 years old. And, you know, it's like the world loves Mike Tyson. Before we get into the money of it, like how much money they made, because I'll tell you this, who was the winner of the fight? Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. The losers, everyone who watched the fight. But I'll also say this, with the world apparently surrounding Mike Tyson with love, they want to see him do good. He didn't do good. He was gassed out, couldn't do much. So then the world empathized with him. They didn't like seeing him get punched. Here's what baffles my mind. The world just loving this man seemingly forgets he is absolutely a convicted rapist. It's like, do you just get a pass on that because you have 44 highlight reel knockouts throughout your career? It just blows my mind. Like one of the most heinous, vile crimes you can imagine. He was convicted of that. So the world's like, yeah, but the 44 knockouts were pretty good, right? So let's just, yeah, what? He went to prison for that? I think that's a conspiracy theory. No, he did go to prison for it. And in all fairness, Mike Tyson maintains his innocence, as probably most people do who are convicted of that crime. So I can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt he did it. I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt he was convicted of it. And it is just weird how the world's like, yeah, but it's kind of like it's a Biden running for office. Like, oh, he was accused of, but it doesn't matter if he did it. Let's move on. If you didn't watch the fight, here is a quick highlight reel of what you missed on Netflix. And that's right, that is Netflix buffering. The fight was just plagued by Netflix buffering. And by the way, kudos to Netflix. This is a great problem to have. I mean, having 60 million people tune in live. Yeah, of course, their system's not going to work swimmingly, but I love seeing people do new things, achieve new levels. So while it was obnoxious just having this buffering thing every couple minutes, it's also like, well, Netflix, they did a badass recruitment of attention, so hats off to them. So why I say the winners of this fight were Jake Paul and Mike Tyson and the losers were everyone that watched it, it's because what was delivered was extremely disappointing, especially disappointing relative to how the fight was hyped. It was a brilliant marketing promotion. I don't think it was moral because it was just preying on people's emotions. It was over-promising, under-delivering. That's not ethically how I would ever want to market anything. But given that they were coming from a place of ethically, they were okay with it. It was an extreme success. And it's reported by Daily Loud that Jake Paul is walking away from the fight with $40 million from it. And Mike Tyson is walking away with $20 million from it. They both deserve it because we all fell for it. We gave it our attention. Netflix, I'd imagine, probably funded a lot of this. There's other sponsors on there like DraftKings, Degenerate, let's try to capitalize on people's gambling addiction. So it was funded, deservedly so. I'm a capitalist. These guys deserved it based on the attention they command. Let's take a quick look at Jake Paul and Mike Tyson after the fight.
Life like this sure is sweet, huh?
It definitely is.
Paul walking away with a reported $40 million, Tyson with another $20 million to add to whatever he's got. That's what they were in this for, ladies and gentlemen. This was a carnival marketing spectacle that used boxing as the lead magnet at the top of their funnel. And if you fell for it like I did, cool, that's on you. It's not on them. Like, it is a free country. You didn't have to watch it. But I was dumb enough to watch it. And before I get to a point that I've heard nobody else make, let's take a look at a quick highlight of basically how the fight went. And basically, it's Mike Tyson just throwing some air punches, measuring them, Jake Paul dancing away. To Jake Paul's credit, it appeared as though he decided, I don't want to do actual damage to Mike Tyson. Consensus opinion is Jake Paul was holding back. And quite frankly, if that's true, I'm glad he did. I mean, the crowd was already against Jake Paul for fighting a gassed out, relatively defenseless Mike Tyson. His legs weren't working in the sense like he had no stamina to bounce up and down. And even at the weigh-in the day before, the way Mike Tyson walked from the scale to the center of the stage, he was walking not good. Like, you could tell there's no rotation in his spine. He's walking kind of like an old dude. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first I want to tell you this. You will never feel your best if you've got poor energy, you're getting poor sleep, you're full of inflammation, and your hormonal system is all out of whack. These are challenges I always am looking for ways to overcome, and nothing helps me do it like the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket. I've been working with Bond Charge for well over 4 years now. They're a holistic wellness brand with evidence-based products to help you optimize your life in every way. And their infrared sauna blanket makes it easy to get the amazing benefits of infrared saunas in the most convenient, affordable way possible. It's what I have in my home. And here's the cool part. It doesn't break the bank and it doesn't take up a bunch of big bulky space in your home. I just get mine out, I roll it out, I get in for 40-minute sessions 3 days a week while I listen to a podcast or an audiobook to make my mind a little sharper while I'm at it. And it's excellent for weight loss or toning your body because how the sauna blanket works, it elevates your heart rate to that of exercise, making it so you can burn 600 calories in one session, all while you're relaxing. And you get a beautiful natural endorphin release, which is excellent for resetting and relaxing your mind. It takes me less than a minute to set up and less than a minute to put away. I don't have to waste time driving to a sauna facility. I get it all fast and convenient in my own home, anytime I want it. And Bond Charge's Black Friday holiday sale is upon us, ladies and gentlemen, which means you can get a discount like never before on the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket and everything Bond Charge has to offer. Here's how you do that. Go to bondcharge.com/JPReacts and use the discount code JPReacts25 to get a full 25% off your order. All Bond Charge products are HSA, FSA eligible, giving you up to a 40% tax-free savings. That's bondcharge.com/JPReacts, and for 25% off for the holidays, use discount code JPReacts25. Enjoy, because I know I do. Now back to the video. But the marketing spectacle of it was incredible, and I don't think there was any of this left to chance. As you can see here at the weigh-in, Mike Tyson doing the slap of Jake Paul. Was that orchestrated? I would bet my bile duct it was, because people who thought that was authentic, they're like, I'm going to watch the fight. They got some real animosity towards each other. I was like, I'm going to watch the fight, but I guarantee that was scripted. Jake Paul is a brilliant marketer. Doesn't come with the ethics that I want, but he's a brilliant marketer. I grew up watching Mike Tyson, and everything was a far cry from the actual Mike Tyson. And vintage Mike Tyson, here he is in Las Vegas, literally fighting the police off, throwing punches at police officers after his fight with Evander Holyfield. Well, he was falsely convicted of that crime. This guy who's literally punching police officers, he wouldn't do anything wrong. So here's my hot take that I've heard nobody else discuss. During the fight, the commentary was atrocious. Rosie Perez, I'll get to her in a second, but one of the commentators was Roy Jones Jr., apparently good boxer, horrible commentator just from the get-go. He was talking about you can tell Tyson, he's out of shape. His legs don't work. He's not going to be effective at Jake Paul. He was saying that at the very beginning of round one, really building suspense for the audience watching. He's basically like, oh yeah, round one, this isn't going to be a good fight. But I found Netflix using Rosie Perez as a commentator to be hilarious, and I think I know why they did it. First off, is she a boxing commentator? No. During the fight, she said something, and this might be word for word. It's stuck in my mind. She said, I don't know anything about boxing. What are we supposed to look for? In the position of a boxing commentator, I don't know much about boxing, and I know more than her. I want you to think about this. Why would Netflix have Rosie Perez, who self-proclaimed knows nothing about boxing, commentating a main event boxing match? Here's why I think they did it. Rosie Perez is from Puerto Rico. Netflix blew us all away when they had Tony Hinchcliffe be a major part of the Tom Brady roast earlier this year. Tony Hinchcliffe, he's an amazing comedian, the most politically incorrect comedian you'll ever see. So Tony was on there saying some wild stuff. Then fast forward a few weeks ago at Madison Square Garden, Trump rally, Tony Hinchcliffe makes the joke about Puerto Rico being an island of garbage floating in the ocean. I'm guessing Netflix said, he's kind of the face of the Tom Brady roast. We got to do some PR damage control to distance ourselves from Tony and save face and make sure people know we, Netflix, think Puerto Ricans are awesome. So they brought in Rosie Perez to commentate this fight. And she did nothing but validate Tony Hinchcliffe's comments. Joke's on you, Netflix. Now, was the fight scripted? Was it staged? For starters, I'll say it could be. This wasn't a legitimate boxing match in a legitimate organization. It's like if you organized your own football team and someone else organized their own football team, you're not under the rule of NFL or the NCAA. We're doing this for entertainment's sake. We can script this whole thing out. It's a free country. You can do that. Now, when it comes to gambling, when gambling's evolved, I don't know. Are you not allowed to do that? But it's certainly not under the rule of any boxing organization. Very quickly, Friday night after the fight, all over the internet, it starts floating around. Here's this leaked script, as you can see here. And basically the leaked script says, yeah, Tyson gets tired. Jake Paul knocks him out in round 5. The script wasn't executed. If this is real, they may have got word, hey, this leaked out, so we need to not do the script. It's also possible the script is real, but Jake Paul just kind of being in tune with the moment of realizing, wow, the crowd turned on me real quick. I can feel their empathy for Mike Tyson beating him up. Knocking him out would be a real bad look. And I think it's also very possible that the internet can produce anything and that the script isn't real. My guess is the script isn't real. And that's just like me sitting here talking. There's things in the script where you're like, oh yeah, throw some jabs. They did that. Well, it's boxing. They're going to do that. I don't think it was an authentic sporting competition where two people were showing up to do their best. I don't think it was that. But my guess is they didn't have it scripted like some people are jumping on the bandwagon of. However, there was a man, a very controversial man, Alex Stein. He's a comedian. He's got a show on The Blaze. I've been on his show. He's always out there doing radical stuff, super entertaining. He was at the fight. So after the fight, as he's leaving the stadium, he's asking people who were there in the stadium, do you think this was scripted? So let's tune in and hear what some of the boxing match attendees had to say.
We just asked everybody walking out if they thought the fight was rigged, and I think you know their answers. Check them out.
It's rigged. Rigor mortis. Rigor mortis. It was scripted. It's all good though.
I could have fought him better than that.
Dog shit, brother. I'm telling you, it's fucking. The shit was honestly. Dude, I've seen more interesting paint dry. More interesting paint. You come from Australia for this shit. It's fucking dog shit.
Before we get to a few more, what's not controversial is it was a very boring fight. That's universal. Everyone's like, yeah, that was not entertaining. That was not good whatsoever. But was it scripted or not?
Yeah, shit was ass.
So you think it was rigged?
You damn right. Tell them mouth traffic.
Great.
It was rigged. Yeah.
What's up?
I'm so sorry.
I don't know if it was rigged, but I think it was a scrimmage.
What do you think it was rigged?
Yes.
I thought, yeah, it was rigged.
So a lot of people think it's rigged. I will say this, Jake Paul's getting a lot of heat for this, and I think that plays right into Jake Paul's, I would say, unethical marketing brilliance. To me, Jake Paul, he's creating this imaginary world for himself because he's a great marketer. He can pull it off. Hats off to him. But this imaginary world where he's playing the role of a champion boxer, people say he's got legit skills. But it's like he's a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid living out his dream of being a boxer. But unlike a Make-A-Wish Foundation granting a wish to a kid where everybody is in on it, but the kid kind of thinks it's real, it's reversed for Jake Paul. He's the one in on it, and everybody else thinks it's real for a little while. My prediction moving forward, everybody who feels like, this was crappy of Jake Paul, I hope he gets what's coming to him. I think that's the exact mentality that Jake Paul wants people to have, because that creates hate-fueled intrigue to watch what he does next because you're hoping he's going to fail. It's what Floyd Mayweather did throughout his whole career, made hundreds of millions of dollars for it. So Jake Paul is the ultimate winner. Mike Tyson in second place. Loser of this fight is everyone who watched it. The mega loser of the fight is everyone who will watch what Jake Paul does next. That's my opinion from the opinion desk, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. Let me know what you thought about this whole spectacle in the comments below. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. But until then, stay free.